I'd like to assure all the Japanese people in the audience that when I'm performing in London, when I'm performing off-Broadway in New York, when I'm performing around the world, that I am not just giving people the light version of Japanese culture, that I really bring my audience to a deeper understanding of the beauty of Japanese culture, the Japanese language, Japanese grammar, all this. The most important thing for me is that the Japanese people in the audience say, oh, Sunshine, he's doing a good job. That's real Rakugo. His representation of Japanese culture is really getting us to the deep places. So I want to assure you all. So when I perform off-Broadway, when I perform in London, I teach people a little bit of Japanese. Do you know the word for hello in Japanese? Does anybody know? I know some of you know. I mean, there's at least half of you are Japanese, right? Do you want to say it? Konnichiwa. Yeah, good. Why did you get so quiet all of a sudden? Don't be shy. Do you know the word for thank you? Yeah, good. Arigato. So this is the thing. Anybody knows konnichiwa, anybody knows arigato. I would like to teach you a more important word than konnichiwa, more important word than arigato. We use it more than hello, more than thank you in Japan. And the word is yoroshiku. A very difficult word to translate into English. But it's a word that you use when you meet someone for the first time. You'll say yoroshiku. Or when you start a day of work together, say yoroshiku. Or when I begin a story in front of my audience, I'll say yoroshiku. And so I've thought very long and hard about how to translate this word so that it encapsulates all the various uses that this word has. And I've come up with a solution. And Japanese people, you can back me up here. I think the word yoroshiku means in English, I thank you now in advance for your future kindness to me. What do you think? Thank you. It took me a long time to come up with that because if any of you are studying Japanese, you'll see like on the second or third page of the Japanese textbook, it'll say yoroshiku means nice to meet you. And it's used that way sometimes, but it's a gross oversimplification. Okay, that only covers one of the uses. And so the thing is, in Japanese culture, the way it works is this. If I meet you for the first time in Japan, I know that in the future, in our relationship, you are going to do something kind for me. And I'm thanking you now in advance for that future kindness. Right? So in Japan, you put a little pressure on the other person to be kind. It definitely has a little bit of weight to it. It's a little bit passive-aggressive, right? I assume now that you are going to be kind to me in the future. I'm thanking you now. That's how it works in Japan. So same thing. When we start a day of work together, right? In the morning we say yoroshiku. I know that during the work day you are going to help me at some point. I'm thanking you now in advance for that future kindness, right? So you can see already that the nice to meet you doesn't work. Nice to meet you. If you say in the morning, kyou ichinichi yoru made yoroshiku ne, or something like that, right? If you translate it that way, it'd be, today I will be happy to meet you for the first time many times throughout the day. It's weird. No, yoroshiku, right? It's thanking you now in advance for this kindness. Same for me, a performer. I am going to say some funny stories now for the next half hour or so. And you are going to laugh at my funny stories. And there will be times, from experience, where you will be laughing even though you don't necessarily think it's funny. Out of kindness to me, the performer. And I'm thanking you now in advance for that kindness. Right? Now here's the thing, in Japanese, yoroshiku, as you can probably assume, on its own, just by itself, is not polite enough. Now, I'll give you a quick Japanese lesson here. If you want to make any Japanese word or phrase more polite, you have three options open to you. Number one, raise the status level of the other person you are talking to. Number two, lower your own status level. Number three, raise the status level of the other person at the same time as lowering your own status level. So if you want to say yoroshiku more politely, you'd say yoroshiku onegai shimasu. I humbly thank you now in advance for your future kindness. You see, I'm going humble, I'm going down, I'm widening this social gap between us, therefore being more polite to you. Very simple system, right? The next one, more polite, would be yoroshiku onegai itashimasu. I humbly thank you now in advance for your future great kindness. So now the kindness that I am putting pressure on you to do for me in the future is going up to great. I'm still going down to humble, widening this social gap between us, being more polite to you. Very simple system. Next one, more polite. That would be よろしくご指導のほどお願い申し上げます。I hope I am humble enough to accept your esteemed kindness and teaching. So ご指導 is teaching. So now I'm raising you all to the level of my teacher. I'm still going down to the level of your student, therefore widening the gap between us, being more polite to you. I'm not counting on learning anything in particular from you today, okay? This is just a way to make Japanese more polite. And then the most polite form of this is よろしくご指導ご鞭達のほどお願い申し上げます. Translate directly into English, please teach me and hit me with a whip. So if you're being hit with a whip in Japan, you know you're being very, very polite. Right? ご指導, I told you, is teaching. ご鞭達 is a difficult kanji, but it's written whip and hit. I was very surprised first time I heard this myself. I don't want to misrepresent Japanese culture here, okay? I'm not trying to say that Japanese people go to each other every day and say, ご指導ご鞭達ね, ご指導ご鞭達, よろしくね, ご指導ご鞭達. It doesn't happen. It's very, very formal. But in formal occasions, it is used. The first time I heard it, it was at a wedding. And the father of the bride was giving a speech. And his speech in Japanese was, 皆様、うちの娘はいろいろとご迷惑おかけいたしますが、どうか今後ともよろしくご指導ご鞭達のほどお願い申し上げます. And I thought, holy smokes, that sounds very cool. But I was still learning Japanese at the time, so I just took it all down, looked it all up in the Japanese English dictionary. I was very surprised at the English translation that came out. Ladies and gentlemen gathered here today, my daughter is going to cause you all big problems in the future. Please teach her and hit her with a whip. Very strange.